On this week's episode, we discuss Hello Girls by Brittany Cavallaro and Emily Henry. We also discuss road trips. Happy listening. Welcome to this week's episode of the Books, Booze, and BS podcast. I'm your host, Mike. This week I'm joined by Sarah, Katie, and Brendan. Everyone say hello.
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 You white knuckled the podcast name again, didn't you?
I have it down, thank you very much. Although I want to talk about booze often, and that's a good segue into what everyone's drinking tonight. Sarah?
I am drinking an IPA from Urban Lodge Brewery, which is in Manchester, Connecticut, and it is their Maui IPA, which is quite delicious. I got it for my birthday.
It's also in Hartford.
Yes, but their flagship is Manchester.
Yes.
And their can from Manchester.
Fancy.
I've only been to the Hartford location.
Me too.
Katie, drinks. Sweet tea or iced tea with vodka?
Well, you got it. This time it's peach tea, though, not berry tea. So I did mix it up a little bit.
We're tracking in the right direction, doing a little change each week.
I know I'm so boring and predictable.
Well, if Celeste was on the call, it would be Smirnoff Ice. So
I was going to say, you just know what you like.
Dare I say Smirnoff Ice is exotic?
I would dare you to not say that.
Okay.
Brendan, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a Sun Cruiser, which is just the classic iced tea and vodka.
Oh, nice.
But nice and pre-canned, so you didn't have to worry about making something.
Yeah, stairs.
I'm going with my second choice of the evening, which is a Julius from Treehouse. I did not stutter. It has 3 J's at the beginning of it. I wanted to have a dark and stormy because Brendan found some ginger beer in the fridge. However, it expired in July of 2024, so I did not feel safe drinking it.
Yeah, it probably would have just been a little gross.
And who wants to go into this with a gross drink right off the bat?
Nope.
What I don't understand is, though, we've cleaned the fridge. I mean, not often. Not as often as we're supposed to, but we've cleaned our fridge. And I don't remember those being there for years. So I thought they were new when you just put them in.
I'm wondering if I bought them, maybe they're already expired.
Could be.
Did you buy them at the Dollar Tree?
I don't think so. Can't be confirmed, though.
They're at the Deals place.
Oh my God. There's this place called Deals Depot in Newington, the Berlin Turnpike. And we drive by it all the time. We're like, what do you think's in the Deals Depot? Do you think we would like the Deals Depot? Brendan found a TikTok of the Deals Depot. And the only way I can describe it is an Ocean State job lot, but highly and more disorganized.
Wow.
There was a clothing section and a random display of dog treats in the middle of it.
I mean, I still think you should stop by one day.
I think we have to.
What's an Ocean State job lot?
Have you ever been to a Big Lots?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like a Big Lots, but trashier?
I was going to say nicer.
You think Ocean State's nicer than Big Lots?
Maybe I just like Ocean State better than Big Lots. I don't know.
All right.
I often use their names interchangeable.
Well, now we no longer have a Big Lot, so only Ocean State now.
Well, fun fact, my favorite bedroom suit I have ever owned came from a Big Lots. And I'm not ashamed of it. It was very pretty.
I don't think there's anything. I find it very exciting when people find things at Ocean State or Big Lots.
There's always some good find.
Yeah.
I remember, it's not, of course it's food, big back here, but they used to always have these Cadbury chocolate covered biscuits, and I would literally buy 40 boxes if they had them.
Yeah, my cat's favorite cat toy is from Ocean State.
Your favorite root beer barrels come from Ocean State.
Yep.
Well,
I had today.
So on my list of places to go next time I'm in Connecticut, it's still J. Gilbert's and then Ocean State job lot. I've added it to the list.
Well, good thing.
What a disappointment that's going to be, though.
We can take you to Ocean State on the way to Jay Gilbert's.
Yeah.
You better make a reservation now.
Yep.
Apparently.
Yeah, we'll need at least a month advance notice, Katie, for when you're coming. I think it was just because of the Travelers Championship. It was impossible to get a reservation that week.
Yeah, I still had a blast.
Yeah, our
We went-
food was good.
We went to Jay Gilbert's this week.
I know. I knew it as soon as you sent me a message and said, remember, it's Brennan's mom's birthday. And I was like, he's going to tell me they're going to Jay Gilbert's. I know it. And then you were like, we're going to Jay Gilbert's, which I'm very happy for your mother. And I hope she had a great birthday.
She had a good time.
Happy birthday, Fred.
Before I get into Best Bite, I also want to give a nice shout out to fellow podcast guest Lynn, who at what I'm assuming is some sort of financial or actuarial panel she was on in Boston, shouted out the podcast. So
Awesome.
yeah, well, when she told them after she talked for 45 minutes, if you liked hearing me talk here, you're gonna love my drunk rants about strip club buffets, and then recommended the podcast.
That's awesome.
And I think that's a good topic to point out how ridiculous sometimes we get in the podcast. So,
Yep.
strip club buffets. Speaking of food and strip club buffets, Sarah, what was your best bite of the week?
So it was my birthday and vacation week, so I had a lot of delicious, horrible for me, wonderful things. But I would summarize it as on my actual birthday, I got to eat Mike J's pasta salad, which is one of my favorite things ever, and then pizza on the beach and ice cream cake for dessert. And so that's 3 things I know, but birthday, I get to say whatever I want.
Katie, best bite?
So where I live, I don't have a grill. I'm in like a condo, so I don't have a grill. And we tried corn on the cob in the air fryer this week, and it is very similar to corn on the cob on the grill. And I was like, this is amazing. I've been missing corn on the cob off of the grill for so long, and it was just delicious. And we'll probably have corn on the cob at least 6 dozen times before summer ends.
I never would have thought to put that in the air fryer. Do you leave the husk on, or do you do it without the husk?
I don't know. I don't do the cooking. I just say what I want to eat. But I'm assuming he took the husk off. I was not present when it was cooked.
Usually that's what you do on the grill. At least that's how I've grilled it. So
Oh, really? So I've usually wrapped it in foil and put seasonings and butter in the foil when I grilled it.
Well, when we used to grill it, we would leave it in the husk to soak it in water for 30 minutes, I guess, to prevent the husk from burning. Again, I say we, but
Marshall.
he.
the
Wow,
collective we.
We just had three different ways to grill corn in the cob. None of
I know. And now I want to Google how to do it in the air fryer. I wrote a note down to do it.
Yeah, we should try that, Brendan, sometime this week or next week. No, not next week. Week after. He's so depressed because I'm leaving for work.
Abandoning.
Brendan, best bite?
It's kind of tough because, obviously Jay Gilbert's was delightful, but I just, for the first time in my life, I really just wanted a nice healthy salad, and we can't have that because we live in a third world country. So I'm going to go with actually the Michelle and Augustin cheese biscuits with black pepper that we had.
Oh, those were good.
Those little crackers were deceivingly delightful. So
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't go with the cookie butter brownie.
It was between that and those crackers, but I felt like those crackers were really, really good. The brownie was delicious too. It was a Biscoff frosting on a very fudgy brownie, which if I'm going to have a brownie, it has to be fudgy. No dry cakey brownies.
Biscoff or Bishkoff?
The only way to say it is Biscoff.
Shout out to Fred. My best bite is likely the corn from Jay Gilbert's. It's always so good. Sorry, Katie.
I love that you both had corn as your...
I know. That's what I was going to say.
Yes, they call it a creamed corn, but it's not really a creamed corn. But it has bacon and scallions and delicious.
It has a lot of butter in it. So
yes, definitely their best side dish.
Sounds amazing.
And usually we have a recipe for the week, but given one of the things in the book that the ladies or the girls like to eat, we all celebrate by getting a bunch of different gummy candies. Katie, what gummy candy was your go-to?
So I will say my favorite gummies, and they're like true gummy bears, are Black Forest gummy bears. I think they knock the, is it Haribo
Yeah.
out of the park. So those are like my favorite true gummy bears. But I also, for the very first time a few months ago, tried those nerd gummy clusters
Yum.
thing. And I was very shocked that I had never tried these, but they are super delicious. And I just got some of the nerd gummy cluster juicy ones. And I was like, how can these be juicy? And I was like, they're a little juicy and also delightful. So right now I would say those are my two favorite, but I love a good, I love a good candy. So
Brendan?
So my go-tos are just basic Sour Patch Kids because I absolutely love the sour, but we decided to have a fun little assortment. So I'll let you name what we have, but basically if they're gummy and they're sour, I love it.
Sarah?
So Sour Patch Kids, I agree with Brendan. My top gummy treat. To me, having them like at at a concert or at the movies with popcorn, like that's the best combination of things is the salty popcorn and then Sour Patch Kids. And then I actually wrote down nerd clusters with a question mark because I wasn't sure if they would be considered a gummy because they're gummy and hard candy, but they are such a delight and so addicting. And then a shout out to peach rings because peach rings are
I'll have an asterisk like yours to mine, so I think Brendan's going to be grossed out by this choice, but I love chocolate-covered gummy bears. I think they're delightful. But our candy assortment today involved sour gummy worms, Haribo cherries, Haribo sour soda pops, and Mambas.
Yep.
And Brendan, don't you have something to say about Mambas?
I had never heard of Mambas till I met Mike. So those were a new introduction to me. Also, I do not dislike chocolate pepper gummy bears.
Oh.
I just want to clear the air. I don't want that slander out there. Usually, though, when we have them, they're like a gift to you, and I don't take them because you love them so much. But yeah, no, I'm awesome.
I don't know that I've ever had Mambas.
I don't think I have either, Sarah.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm going to have to fix this.
Yeah, what can you describe them for us?
Like a chewier now and later?
I don't think I've ever had a now and later either.
They're rectangle.
Maybe I have had them.
They're like the shape of a Jolly Rancher.
Okay, maybe I've had them. I mean, I've known you a long time. I think I might have had them.
It's kind of like the consistency of like a Starbursty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, we'll fix this. We'll make sure you try them just in case.
Or
so I do have a question. So when y'all buy candy, do y'all like sort it and divvy it out?
Explain.
Like, okay, so I am. Sometimes I'm a little bit of a binger when it comes to if I have a candy craving, and Marshall likes to really conserve his candy items and savor them. So we had to start sorting them so I didn't, eat them all before he could enjoy his. And what we found, sometimes you get a bag of candy and you get really disappointed because it is like primarily the awful flavor and you only have like a small portion of like a mixed variety. So I was just wondering if y'all ever experienced this, or is this just a my household situation?
I think Brendan and I typically hold on to candy longer than a normal person because our friend Betsy, I once told her about like our backup candy and she kind of gave me this look like, what do you mean backup candy? She's like, if it's in the house, I'm going to eat it.
Oh, yeah.
Where do I fall then on that spectrum if you guys...
Oh, Jesus Christ. You like have candy from like 6 years ago.
So I'm much like Marshall, probably, Katie. I hoard my candy. So like today when I said I had one of my root beer barrels for Mike, I literally only took one and brought it upstairs and ate it because I kind of hoard my candy. I don't know why. I always have, but I like candy. But I agree with you, Katie, about how sometimes there's like no good ones in a package because I like certain flavors often. And like jelly beans, like they'll end up being like 20 black jelly beans and 2 red ones.
Wow, you got
Exactly.
really racist there.
Well, no, it's black jelly beans. It's
Whoa.
not
She
rape
keeps
thing.
saying it.
It's a jelly bean thing.
Whoa.
Ah,
Katie, to put this into full transparency with Sarah with her hoarding of candy. So one of the things her and I love at Christmas time, Hershey's comes out with these peppermint bark bells, and I give her like usually a bag like in our advent calendar. It'll be like September, and she's like, "I took a bath today and had a peppermint bark bell," and I'm like, "Bitch, those are like 9 months old.
they're still good.
But how do you still have them?"
I still have mine from this year.
Jesus Christ.
That's
I just
hilarious.
finished my Hugs Christmas kisses this week.
So now you gotta move on to the bells, and they'll last you till November when they come back out again.
Yep.
I do want to just say, though, this seems more like a Marshall problem that shouldn't be a Katie problem, because the way I understand it, candy can be bought in stores. So if he needs candy and it's gone, then he can get his ass to the store. And if he chose not to
Absolutely.
eat it in time, that sounds like something that he just missed out on.
Well, let me clarify just to give him some props, because how it usually works out is when I run out of my rations, we'll be sitting there watching like Netflix or something, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he'll pull out some of his rations and hand them to me, and then I'm like, "Yay!" And so it usually works out. He's very sharing, but we don't keep a lot of candy in the house just for the sheer fact that I will eat it all. So that's like one of the reasons we don't just like buy it in bulk.
I think 75% of the candy, maybe 80 or 90% of the candy in my household has come from Mike J.
And that's a problem because
It's not a problem. You're just my candy supplier.
I'm
You're the
You're my
candy
candy
man.
man.
candy dealer.
Candyman.
All right. Well, enough about candy. How about we get into the book, Hello Girls by Brittany Cavallaro and Emily Henry. As per usual, we will do our roundtable, things you like, things you didn't like, any favorite passages or quotes, any favorite characters, etc. I think we're going to start with Katie this week.
I was hoping you would not, but that's okay. So, so I like this book. I read it well, I won't say quite some time ago. You know how it is when you read a lot of books, but it was probably over a week ago because I forgot we weren't recording on a Monday. And then I had to go back and kind of listen to it again, parts of it at least, just to make sure I was up to speed. So I really did like it. I am super blessed with like my girlfriend relationships, and I have a very close knit group of girls. Like our average tenure of friendship is like 32 years because we grew up in a small town and there was only one school. So we all went to school together from a very young age. So I really loved that part of it. I thought the book was a little simple, maybe predictable in a way though, but I didn't really mind it, if that makes sense. So yeah, overall, I think I gave it 4 stars. I do love Emily Henry and am really embarrassed to say that I didn't realize Brittany Cavallaro was the co-author of Wayfarers, which I have not read yet. It's like the only Jeff Zintner book I haven't read yet.
And Sunrise Nights.
Oh, really? Oh, I haven't read that one either. I just lied to you guys on this podcast. So those are the 2 Jeff Zintner books I haven't read. But I really loved it. I thought it was great. I love how this was like a little different than Emily Henry's normal genre. And to be honest, when I really thought about it, I still thought it was kind of like a love story, but it was like a love story between friends, which, I really cherish those kind of stories. I kind of expected the mom that they found in Vegas to be a complete bag of shit from the beginning. I was just waiting for that to happen. Sorry, spoiler. I didn't say that before. I do think it was cute that it was kind of like a Thelma and Louise take on just like a YA novel. But, the whole like poor rich girl from the wrong side of the track and befriends a rich, traumatized tall girl. I like that story because it kind of sends that message that childhood trauma does not pick and choose. You can be like privileged, but that doesn't prevent abuse or things like that. That's like one thing I always tell Marshall when he talks about like his childhood versus mine. I was like, you can't compare yourself to anyone. Your experience, you were a child, it was all you know. And if it's traumatic for you, it's traumatic, and you don't have to justify or validate, what your situation was compared to someone else. And I think this story did a really good job of showing that. I also thought it was a great female rage book. I feel like I probably had feelings like that when I was their age. Couple of things I really liked about it. I love that there was a character named Chaxton.
Ugh.
Just because
It made me throw up like every time.
I know, but just because I love making fun of names like that, so I just giggled every time I heard it. I thought the brother character of Marcus was a very true depiction of a lot of people in my area that rely on selling drugs and being just pieces of shit and would throw their family under the bus for whatever they needed. And also, and this is going to be throwback and nobody's going to remember it, but they made a reference to the restaurant O'Charlie's in this book. And O'Charlie's is a regional restaurant that I talked about on a previous podcast because they produced my favorite honey mustard ever. And I was like, well, holy shit, O'Charlie's was mentioned in a book, and now I feel really cool. I don't know why, but I do because their honey mustard is that good. I thought it was great that they didn't drive off a cliff at the end like Thelma and Louise and just went to the beach. That was nice to see that it didn't end tragically, other than the mother's reaction to seeing her daughter for the first time in a while. I was really sad about the dude that was like the Brad Pitt character in this novel that they picked up, the hitchhiker or
Silas.
whatever.
Yeah.
Silas. Yes,
Yeah.
I failed to write his name down apparently. I hated that he did that to her, but I loved that that they didn't stand for it and went and found him. I thought that was real fun.
I loved his like girlfriend, baby mama. Like that
Oh
she
yeah.
was like this piece of crap and then like helped the girls out.
Yeah, I love that too. But then I was just thinking, this is really random and not about the book, but did y'all know that in Thelma and Louise, Mark Ruffalo and George Clooney auditioned for that same part, the Brad Pitt part?
Oh. Yeah, we
Interesting.
could all play that.
I've actually never seen
No.
Thelma and Louise.
Huh.
Same.
Are you serious? Okay,
Serious.
never mind. So y'all don't get what I'm saying here, but that's okay. But overall, I thought it was really good. I think that it's a great book. It's a quick read. It would be a good beach read. And again, like I mentioned, I really like that whole like ride or die best friend situation. Yeah, I'll stop there.
Sarah?
So a lot of what Katie said, I agree. I wrote down that it was dark, witty, sharp, sad, entertaining, but really frustrating at times. I did have to keep on reminding myself that these girls were in high school. There were so many times I was like yelling at the book, like, why do you have your cell phone with you? Why are you driving the car that you stole from your dad? Like, why are you trusting a random man from a bar? I was just like, it irked me sometimes. And I'm just like, oh, well, they're teenagers and he's cute. And, that's what happens. But it was a roller coaster and it was fun. There were parts so I definitely loved the writing a lot. And like Katie said, it's a quick read. You were in it, but I sometimes couldn't like fully get engrossed by it because it was unbelievable in a lot of places, I guess. Like it really wouldn't happen. A lot of the things that they would have been caught immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I loved their friendship. Everyone has had a friend like their friendship before, the whole ride or die, the whole you'll do anything for them, where you think, especially at that age, where you think it's all or nothing and you have to do drastic things. And I did see Thelma and Louise. Um, so I saw that parallel right away and I loved it. And I loved that they didn't fly off the cliff at the end. I love that they decided just to go to the coast and deal with their life later. So yeah, there's a lot to love about this book. And yeah, I'm just seeing if I forgot anything on my notes. But yeah, it was good. I'll pass it on to the next.
Brendan?
All right. So I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite book, especially by an author like Emily Henry, but I thought it was good. I did not. So I have this weird thing where if I have to read a book, whether it's like a recommendation or for the podcast, I just don't even look at what the description is. So when I first started reading and it was going to like things that Stormy was doing, I was like, oh my God, this book is dark. Like it has this cute, lively cover on the front. I'm like totally expecting just like a more fun, more like a Clueless style young adult. And then I'm like, whoa, what is going on? So then I went to look to just kind of read it. And then it was like, kind of, it says on their website, it's a retelling of Thelma and Louise. I'm like, okay. So I get that it's a little bit more darker. I have not seen the movie, but I'm not against seeing it, but I did have to keep like reminding myself, like, okay, so they basically had this shell of the story they kind of had to stick to. So some things made a little bit more sense why they were happening. I do agree, Sarah. There's so many times I struggled where I was just so type A. I'm like, you need a better plan. Like this cannot be what you're doing. Like, and again, like I don't know what year it came out, but I'm like, why are you looking at your cell phone? Like, if you're running away, why don't you have a burner? Like if they had planned, they didn't plan anything. Like, have your money ready. I was just my anxiety levels were very high on that.
Yes. Yep.
But one of the things I do think that the authors both did, and I feel like this is very prevalent in Emily Henry books, is that I thought they did a good job of helping us get to know the characters. So like I felt like as the book was going on, like I I could see their perspectives. Like I just felt more connected to the characters than I do with some other authors. So I think that they just do a really good job of telling that backstory, and not in a way where you're like, oh my God, this is so expositional, but you just kind of, they tell enough of the backstory where you're into it, but not too much where you're like, okay, like, can we move on? It's 3/4 of the way through the book and nothing has happened yet. So I really did like the way that they did that. I did feel, if I had to pick a couple things, that I was like, I didn't think that Winona would have been as adaptable based on the way her upbringing had been. Like I felt like if she went to a gross motel, she'd be a little bit more grossed out by it, not as much of a roll with the punches type person. I just feel like that seemed a little I'd calling it unbelievable. I mean, I'm not saying that she had to be prissy, but I just thought she'd be a little bit more stereotypical in that. But I didn't necessarily hate that. It's just something that kind of every time they were in like this weird situation, I thought she'd be a little bit more difficult about it. And when the Silas part was happening, and again, I don't know how close this was to the movie part. I know if it's the Brad Pitt part, but I was just like, this just seems like clearly something bad's going to happen because this is way too early for, all these wonderful things to happen and the story to continue like that. So I wasn't glad he did what he did, but I'm glad that it wasn't just like this weird, like syrupy young adult book that all these great things kept happening and it all went well after they left. And the only thing I will say though is that the ending felt super rushed. Like you get this entire book, you need to find the mom, find them awful, and then we're just gonna run into the ocean. I was just like, what? Like, not even like 5 pages of the ride? Like, I don't know. I was just kind of like, okay, I guess we're done. It would have been really cool if there was like a 5 year in the future look back to like, where did these characters go after this? Because, and again, this is the adult reading the young adult where I'm just like, this is not enough money for the rest of your life. How are you going to support yourselves? You don't even have your birth certificates. How are you going to get a job? So I was just kind of like, it would be very interesting because I would hope, based on all the awful things that they went through, that they would have somewhat of a happy ending. And my last thing is I would like to put full shame on Lucille's mom because the brother was just god awful and Lucille seemed like a treasure.
Absolutely. I do agree with you on the ending. It was kind of like abrupt, but I will say with their like the whole like money theme, I kind of liked how the chapters used that in like the chapter title. I guess I don't know what.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah.
This one had a lot of character, is what I feel like is a good. Like, it just had like a lot of different flavor in like the chapters. It was different. It was definitely a different book than I've read in a while.
Yeah.
What about you, Mike?
It was fine. I think at this point, I've read so many books by both of these authors that it kind of fell flat compared to everything I've read from them. And Brittany usually writes in the young adult realm, so I was kind of disappointed in that aspect because, like, the Sherlock Holmes series I thought was great.
So good.
And then obviously her working with Jeff, like Sunrise Nights was great. Can't wait for Wayfarers to come out. I think it'll actually be out by the time this podcast episode airs.
I totally didn't connect the Sherlock Holmes. You just totally blew my mind.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I completely made zero connections. That's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's what I'm saying. Like Charlotte Holmes, like that series is great.
And that like those relationships and that storyline, like I didn't feel frustrated with them ever. I feel like in the Charlotte series.
Yeah, and that's like young adult. Like you can't blame that being young adult because obviously the Charlotte Holmes books were also young adult. Yeah. So I just something about the story just never came together for me. And I think part of it was I liked their friendship, but I couldn't stand either of them individually. Like I did not like them. I liked them together, but I found both of them annoying throughout many moments in this book.
Yeah, I feel like when you can't click with a character like that, you're not gonna be in it.
You find them both equally as annoying?
Well, they're both annoying. I guess maybe one was more annoying than the other, but I found them both annoying. And I think
justice for Lucille.
No, she was annoying in parts, definitely.
And I think also, like, we kind of touched on this with, I think each one of you said this, but it was just very predictable. Like, right at, like, and obviously without ever knowing about or seeing Thelma and Louise, like, I knew Silas something was going to happen. I knew the mom wasn't going to work out in the end. Like, it was just like going into the book and, like, just, like, being right about that ultimately kind of ruins it because, like, you just knew how it was going to go the whole way.
Right. You're kind of waiting for it to be done because you know what's around the next page, you know?
Right. And with the mom, I mentioned this to Brendan after reading it, and I don't know if anyone else felt this way. I had a feeling that maybe the mom never had a drug or drinking problem, that it was like after she decided to abandon Stormy and Winona, that they came up with this excuse that she was a druggie and then just left.
I mean, I feel like it could have just been like exaggerated almost, like on Stormy's part, that like, oh, she was drunk one night, so she's a drug addict.
Right. And I was gonna say they had that one flashback, but like I think all of us have been at least that way once. So that doesn't mean you're an alcoholic or a
speak
drug.
for yourself, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Sarah, I was about to say the exact same thing. But yeah, I agree, Mike. I actually had that thought too, and I thought the exact same thing as you said, Sarah. I was like, I bet she did like to drink and, occasionally, do some drugs or party or whatever. But Stormy was just such an awful character.
A dick.
That it was blown out of proportion, and she left because she just didn't like the life she chose. She's clearly very, very selfish. So I could see indulging and then just needing to get out of a relationship and wiping her hands of the family. I about died. Like, I got like physically angry when she met her mom, and when they were leaving, she said, "Don't be a stranger." And then Nona, as they call her, said, "I already am." And I was like, ooh, that hurts the heart. It's like, what an awful human.
No, that woman, like, and the fact that, like, she was like, well, he kind of hurt me sometimes. It's like, well, what do you think he did to your daughter? Like,
and also super fucking disappointed that she didn't tell the mom exactly what happened to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like going through all that, like, I imagine if I was in that same place, I guess I'm a little more petty. I would have been like, no, this is actually what happened.
Yeah.
Just to make her life miserable thinking about, like, what she did.
I mean, I would make sure I had the check in my hand first. And
Correct.
then I would say something.
100%. I would not have spared her feelings at all. I would have made her feel it all.
But again, that's where I think this is like a 17-year-old girl. Like, maybe in 5 years,
Yeah.
she's going to write her a letter and tell her everything. You know, she's not as angsty as we are as we get older, I think.
Well, and she has like a half sibling too that her mom didn't even think to see how that could be like impactful to her life either. I mean, on the mom scale, I know it's hard being a mom, so I don't want to disrespect any moms, but her effort level was like 0%.
It's funny.
Negative.
Think of how
10%.
horrible. You think of how horrible like Stormy is or Lucille's mom, but then like her mom, like Winona's mom, you're just like, well, she might be the worst.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a weird thing to think that when she hasn't physically or literally been present and hasn't physically done anything to her, but absolute worst.
And I'll say, I had a couple of quotes that I marked on my Kindle while reading. It kind of gets back to the point where, like, Brendan was saying, like, Stormy was, like, awful. And, like, I think at the beginning, like, when, like, she was talking about things, I'm like, okay, yeah, like, maybe she's being a dramatic teenager. And there's a chapter, I think it's, like, the first chapter ends and says, she didn't have the key to the locks he kept in the pantry. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, nope.
Yeah.
This is going to be dark.
Yep.
I know we love the name Chaxton. And then there was this scene where a photo comes in a phone and Lucille says, "Those aren't pecs. Are those pecs? It's so close up. It looks like Wonder Bread, like the buns they sell in the grocery store." I thought that was hilarious. And then this one I probably think will fall flat for Sarah. I hope and Katie will recognize this. There's a point where for some reason they're talking about George Clooney, and she goes, she hated his George Clooney voice and that shit-eating grin, which had seemed once so charming. And all I could think about was Francine in American Dad when she goes like on her like revenge tour of George Clooney.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Brendan, did you think about that?
The entire yes, very much so, because I think there were a couple references, and it was a season 1 episode called Tears of a Clooney, in case anyone wants to watch. It was amazing. And yes, I did connect to that a lot.
But that's pretty much what I had. I guess we can move on to...
I had one question. I wasn't sure if anyone else caught on this, and the only reason why I remembered it is because I was kind of looking through some reviews of it. There was like a throwaway moment in the middle of the book where it was like, is this turning into a lesbian love story?
Yeah. Yep.
And then it just went away, which I thought was weird. I was like, did they forget that they were looking at that aspect of the story?
I saw someone wrote in a review, I'll pay you $10,000 to make this a lesbian story. Like, you know, if they made it like where they were love interests. But I think I kind of liked that in the sense of that they were younger and there's a lot of feelings, you know?
Right.
You know,
but I was surprised that it was like a one and done comment though. Like there was no more of like, it was just nothing. It was like, okay, if you blinked, you missed that entire.
Right.
I don't really recall that in the book.
I feel like it was when Silas was around, like Lucille definitely was getting jealous of Silas.
Oh yeah.
But there was like one line where she like touched her hand and she was like, I felt something. I was like, whoa, and then they just abandoned it completely.
Again,
Like,
that's where we need a 5 years later.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But there is a big trend like on TikTok now that's like if you and your best friend aren't mistaken for lesbian lovers when you're out together, then you're not really doing the best friend thing. So that's
Yeah.
kind of like what I thought about. But before we move on, like I had some quotes too. I never really know when to say my quotes because sometimes I think you're going to ask us, and then sometimes I think I should put it when I talk about the book. So I apologize for that.
No, I have quotes too.
Oh,
Oh,
let's
You're
hear 'em.
following the rules, Katie, in my opinion.
well, thank you. That's what I thought, Sarah. So I love the validation. So this resonated with me because I have ADHD brain so bad. And it said her train of thought broke off into a bunch of little toy trains. And I was like, I experience that so many times a day. And then another one of the quotes was, "You look like My Little Pony auditioning at a glue factory." I really giggled on that one. And then this one is really more like sentimental for me. And you'll laugh when I call it sentimental. Whenever that new cop was questioning Lucille about her brother in that bar where the dude just randomly lets them drink and thinks they're twins or something, he said, "We could go to Sonic to talk about it." And I was like, oh my God, that is so LC. Like when I was in Lenore City, the city I live in, when I was in high school, like the Sonic was the hip place. We called Broadway, which is like our main street, the drag, and you would cruise the drag and then go to Sonic and get like a slushie and then cruise the drag some more. So I was like, that's an awesome reference.
Not cherry limeade.
No, it was probably a cherry limeade.
Good.
Phew.
Because that went best with vodka when you went to the basketball games.
There we go.
Oh, and then the last one, when she cut her hair off in the hotel room, she goes, "I look like a thumb," and an unattractive Tom Hiddleston. I just like died laughing. And then I was like, I could sit and think about an unattractive bald Tom Hiddleston forever, but I also find him very attractive. So it was hard. So I spent some time thinking about that. I guess my train of thought broke off into a bunch of little toy trains.
Sarah, before you go into your quotes, I have to ask Brendan, have we ever put vodka in the cherry limeade from Sonic?
No.
This is a big miss for us.
I was
Big
going to say,
miss.
that sounds delicious.
Right?
It
We need to
is.
make this happen. All right, Sarah, quotes.
So mine are all little quotes. I have some dark quotes and then some silly quotes. I do love how, like, strong women, girl power they were. So, like, they kept on saying to each other, deeper in or dead, which I just, again, the friendship was very powerful. And then good, let me be nothing is what Winona said to Stormy, like, at the end, which I thought was great. I loved when they said to the drug dealer, Mr. Candyman, if you're nasty. I might have laughed a little too hard on that one. And then this is just, it's not a quote, but they go to the strip club, Optical Illusion, which is for strippers who need glasses. I was dying on that. So there's so many
Yeah.
ones like that in the book that, like, to me, those made it entertaining, even if the story fell a little flat.
And that's where like the Emily Henry and Brittany Cavallaro is coming through. Like, you know,
Yeah.
they're good writers. Like, they are often very witty in their books. Like, those are where like the gems come through.
Yeah. That was it.
Brendan, do you have any quotes or no?
I just had one quote. It's a darker one, and all of your funny ones, like, they got me. Like, again, exactly what Mike just said. But mine was, and it was like a quarter way through, but it made me feel like really sad. And it just was like, I just want to have a small place in the world that truly belongs to me, to not feel for just one fucking second like I'm wandering through someone else's world with someone else's permission to be there.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Sarah,
Yes.
did the ending satisfy you?
I wrote yes with a question mark. I was glad Stormy was gone. I was glad, the Candyman was gone and Marcus got his day. And, I'm glad those things happened. The mom thing, even though you saw it coming, it was still heartbreaking to me. But I decided, yes, I liked it in the sense that the two girls were together and they just decided, fuck it, let's go to the ocean. Like, I liked that part of it. I do agree with Brendan. I always want an epilogue. But I loved that they were just like, let's go.
Brendan?
I mean, Sarah kind of nailed it right there. I do. I wish the brother and Stormy got a little bit more.
Mhm.
Like, I was very vindictive against them, and I was not happy that I just felt like they kind of got off a little light. So I would have loved, you know, I don't know, like shoot one of Stormy's feet off or something. The brother, I don't know. I would have loved that, but that's my vindictiveness part. But I did like, you know, it's a story, so I like that they prevailed and, persevered. So I was happy with that.
Katie?
So, Brendan, you should have said shot one of Stormy's fingers off. So when he's pointing to the green screen while being a meteorologist, you could clearly see that he's missing a finger. So, so I don't know if I can go that far, but thank you. I, I did. I was fine with the ending. I did like that when the mom just totally turned out to be the piece of shit we all expected, that they kind of just pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. And I'm actually really embarrassed that I just used that cliche, but and said, well, what now? Well, we have each other. Let's just take our next steps forward and move on. Like, I did think that that was like a really good part of their whole dynamic. But I also felt like the ending was set up like there should be a sequel, but the book was not set up like there should be a sequel. Does that
Yes.
make sense?
Right. Yeah.
But I was fine with it.
The ending was set up for an epilogue chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. That's really what it needed. But since there wasn't an epilogue, it's like they were setting it up for a sequel, but the book wasn't sequel-esque.
I'm going to say yes-ish. I feel like it was rushed. Some good things happened, but like I ended the book and I was like, all right, like what am I going to read next? Like I wasn't like blown away by the ending.
I'm pretty sure that was my first thought too. Okay, what do I read next?
Casting call? Brendan, did you cast any actors to go for the characters?
Not while I was actually reading it, but as I was thinking about it, I could easily see Lucille being Zendaya.
Oh, nice. I like that. I love her.
Me too.
I kind of picture it, and obviously, if it would have to be like 20 years ago, but I could see Allison Williams being Winona.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
I don't know who that is.
From Girls. I don't know if you ever watched that.
I just watched that show for the very first time about 8 months ago.
The Lena Dunham's friend. Like her best friend, Marnie.
Oh, yeah. She was such a complicated character. Oh, but we're not talking about Girls. Go ahead.
Technically, we're talking about Girls, just not those girls.
We're talking about
Hello, Girls.
Hello.
Anyone else, B, or is that it?
I mean, I gave you two. I mean,
I was just asking.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I was Googling that person you just mentioned that I already can't remember their name. I had Lucille as Jenna Ortega.
You always cast Jenna Ortega.
Well, I love her too. I'm sorry, I might be a bit obsessed. And then Winona as Sadie Sink.
Oh, I can see that.
But that's all I got.
And I saved Sarah for last because I know she said I did casting this week.
I did casting. And it's very, very funny because I had opposite from being Katie. I wrote down Jenna Ortega for Winona at first and crossed her off. And I wrote down, who did you just say for Lucille? Zendaya. I had her for Winona as well and crossed her off.
Hilarious.
Who I actually cast, ironically, I cast Sadie Sink for Lucille and Haley Steinfeld for Winona, Jude Law for Stormy, and then Noah Lalonde, who he's from My Life with the Walter Boys, which admits that I've watched that show, as Silas.
I have too, don't worry.
No, but I feel like he would be such a good Silas because he's very cute and he could be the con man.
Who is it? What's his name?
Noah Lalonde. I mean, he's teenager cute. Like, he's like,
Oh, yeah, I could see that. I
Yeah.
could see that.
and he's kind of smarmy, at least in that show. So yeah, I cast people. Are you proud of me, Mike?
I am.
Thanks. And Stormy,
Oh,
by the
well.
way. So Jude Law, I find him very creepy these days. So I felt like he could very much be creepy and like burn her with cigarettes and stuff. Which, sorry, Jude Law, but
Yeah,
He
when
did
you
it.
said that, I was like, oh my God, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have anything for Story, but that was perfect. You nailed it.
And I just
Not
had a,
creepy for Stormy. How about Tom Cruise?
that also could work.
speaking of,
I
there's
just,
a new movie coming out with Tom Cruise in it, and it looks fucking awful.
I mean, it has Tom Cruise in it.
No, but like the movie looks like I don't even know what the movie's about. The preview looks so dumb.
Awful.
Who did you
Yeah,
cast,
but-
Mike?
I didn't really have any casting.
So we switched positions.
Yep. So you took care of it this week. I'll get next one.
You'll get all the rest.
That was the most like guilty chuckle I've ever heard. I didn't do this one. It's awesome.
I'm not going to ask about have we read any books by the author and do you plan on reading more, because I know we've all read books by the author and we all plan on reading more books by the author. So
Yeah, let's just make sure we give a really big shout out to read the Charlotte series by Brittany Cavallaro,
yes, I believe there's 4 of them.
which I haven't read them all still, which I realized when reading this. They're on my bookshelf.
Oh, I haven't read any of them, and I love the series, and I'm really disappointed in myself that I haven't read it yet.
They're based on Sherlock Holmes. They're very fun.
Is it like a Nola Holmes?
Like a what?
A Nola Holmes?
Um,
No.
No, because Noel Holmes takes place in the past, where this is like modern day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But it's similar in a way.
Yeah.
They're good.
I don't know. I don't think I definitely haven't read all 4, so I'm gonna have to.
I think I
Work on
haven't
that.
read 2 of them, or at least the last one. I don't know. They're on my bookshelf.
Well, all 3 of you get on it.
Wait,
I will.
mind giving us homework.
Yeah. Well, speaking of things to read, should we talk about recent reads and any recommendations for our readers?
Yeah.
Sarah, I know you read a lot on vacation, so we'll start with you. Things you've read, if you recommend any, things you don't recommend people read. Take it away.
So without realizing it, I right away, the best book I read on vacation was Emily Henry's, which I forgot that this was an Emily Henry book when I wrote it down. But I read The Great Big Beautiful Life, and it was wonderful. It's like an Emily Henry book mixed with a Taylor Jenkins Reid book. It was just such a nice story, and I recommend that to everyone. And Mike will yell at me, but I also read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, finally, by Holly Jackson. And that also, I read it like in a day. It was addicting. I often see what is going to happen in a mystery book, and I couldn't figure that one out, which I just loved. And then I'm currently reading, I forget what the name of the book is, but by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, her series, and then the
The
Gilded,
Naturals.
no, the Gilded Blade, that one, that whole series, Glorious Rivals, I think it's Glorious Rivals is what I'm currently reading, but her newest one, The Gilded Blade, just came out. So I have that sitting on my shelf to read. And then the last thing is I'm listening to One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune, and I have literally an hour and a half maybe left to it, and I just absolutely adore this book. I love the characters so much that I don't want it to end. I'm so worried it's going to end and I'm not going to like it in the end. But it's a great listen if people need a good audiobook.
Is that a sequel to Every Summer After?
It is. So it's Charlie. It's the brother, which I always liked the brother more than Sam. And I liked the first one, but this one to me is way better.
Ooh, okay.
Highly recommend it. I love, like, Charlie as a kid was a cool character, but he's now in his 30s. And it's been really good. So that's my right now things.
Katie?
So since the last time I was on the podcast, I went on a memoir binge, and Admittedly, I had never read a memoir before. I'm really shocked at that. But I read Crying in H Mart and then You with the Sad Eyes,
God,
Christina
Oh,
Applegate's. Uh,
back to back, you listen to those?
yeah,
that's
all
roof.
three. I just went sad, sad, sad. Y'all know I love to be destroyed and cry. So I read Crying in H Mart, You with the Sad Eyes, and then Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing.
Oh, Jesus
Matthew
Christ,
Perry.
Katie.
I
I
did.
know. It was
That's
awesome.
yeah.
But it was very I was crying, and if I had an H Mart, I would have been crying in it. I was crying everywhere else. And then I went right into Sierra of Golden,
Oh,
with
so good.
I
Oh, you listened to it too. That's so
I
good.
did. Oh my God. It was so, I think it's probably my favorite book that I've read this year. And somehow finally I convinced all my friends to like pick it up immediately. I guess I was so passionate about it through tears when I was sobbing at the end. But what a lovely man. And I had
No
such
spoilers.
no, I just said, what a lovely man, Theo. I mean, it's in the title. You know, there's a man named Theo. Um, and I have, like, I don't think this has ever happened, but I have the clearest image of what Theo looked like in my
Yeah.
mind. Like, I could see him. And I put a description in Chat GTP and said, make Theo of Golden based off my description. And I was like, it's not quite there, but it's pretty close. And he's just a little cute man.
He's so
But
cute. I did have to
he's
pull over,
cute.
by the way, when I was listening to that because I started crying so hard.
Oh my God. I told Marshall and I were in
No
the garage.
spoilers. I mean, you can cry a lot of times.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I cried throughout. But Marshall and I were in the garage and I was painting and I looked at him and I said, I think this book's about to destroy me. And he was like, what? And I was like, I just want to warn you. And then of course it did. And he was like, that was uncomfortable and made me feel weird.
I
And
do
then,
think listening to it, like, I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much reading it as listening to it because that narrator was just wonderful.
oh, perfect. Like, I mean, Rivals with some of the best narrators. Rivals with Ray Porter on Project Hail Mary and Jeff Hayes on Dungeon Crawler Carl. I mean, I know they're nothing like this narrator, but just the perfect narrator for the book and
Yep.
for the cast is
Yep.
perfect. I already want to listen to it again, to be honest. But now I am 20 hours into A Little Life, so I'm just trying to break my heart as many times over and over again. Sorry, that was very long-winded.
No, but
That
it
was
was
good.
needed for Theo of Golden.
No, because that kind of sells me because I have a physical copy of that from Brendan's mom, but I also put a hold on the audiobook and it's coming up in a couple weeks, I think. So I might hold out for the
Do it.
audiobook.
Hold out.
Again, I don't know. You know me, I like to read and I like to listen, and this was one of the top audiobooks I've listened to. So,
All right, Brendan.
All right. So I'm just kind of going back. I finished the last couple of books of the Marlowe Murder Club, which is one of those cozy mystery sets, kind of like Thursday Murder Club. So I was kind of glad to get those done. I did read a grouping of gay tennis love stories. I know in the last podcast we talked about the open era, but I read that, which wasn't bad, but then I read 30 Love directly after it, and that one was far superior. So I was a big fan of that. Not that open era was bad, it's just definitely compared 30 Love was much better. And I don't know if there's any fans on the podcast, but I finally read Project Hail Mary.
I still haven't read it, so no spoilers.
Katie's so excited.
Yeah, I still spend like hours every week watching TikToks about Project Hail Mary just so I can feel the emotions. Like the movie was so good, the book was so good, and I have it slated as a reread because I try to reread it at least once a year. So it's up and coming. I'm about to reread it again.
Sarah,
Brenda, did you like it?
Amaze.
Okay. I'm trying to
Amazing.
wait until after summer reading is done because it just seems like too big of a book for summer reading.
It did have a lot of math in it, and I was just I said at one point to Mike, I just I and I appreciated it because it helped set the tone, and like I felt like if you didn't have that, it would have felt very fantasy, make-believe a little too easy, but I was also like, oh my God, stop. Like, why am I even reading this? I don't understand any of it. But, and that, not like it was the whole thing, but every time there was like a math thing, I'm like, but
Well,
no, it was great.
Sorry. I think that's where the audiobook helps because hearing someone tell you about it, you can be like, oh yeah, totally, I'm totally following you. And I feel smart now because I'm totally following you. Um, but I don't know if y'all know this, but I heard a rumor about Andy Weir that made me upset. And because I was so upset, I emailed him and he emailed me back. And I was like, I mean, I got Jess Zentner reposting shit of mine. I got Andy Weir responding to my personal email. I was like, I feel like I have robbed. I am like basically famous myself. But to just set the record straight, there's no worries. We can still love him as an author.
Oh, phew.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't know there
remember
was a bad thing, but
when you sent me
I'm
whatever
pretty,
rumor it was, I was like, oh no, and then like immediately you're like, oh my god, email me back, we're fine.
oh yeah, I forgot. I sent it to Mike because I was too afraid to read it because I was too afraid my heart would be crushed since it's my favorite book. And I made Mike read it first. I am done. Sorry. Go ahead.
Anything else, Brendan, or are you done with your book list?
I am done, sir.
All right, so I've only outside of this book for the podcast, I've only finished 3 other books since the last recording, and I think I've been doing this since we started doing this segment. I recommend, 1 meh, and a pass, essentially. Highly, highly recommend Heartstopper Volume 6.
I can't wait.
But the movie was kind of disappointing.
Trash.
It did not follow the story of the book close enough, and the ways it veered off made the movie really bad.
Oh man.
So, Sarah, I'll love your opinion once you read it and then watch
Yeah,
the movie.
I think I'm number 2 on the library hold list for the book.
Even though it's available at Hoopla at any time.
I like a book for certain things. In graphic novels, I really like a book.
Yeah. My good but not top pick was One of Us by Craig DeLuey. It's like apocalyptic end of world where something happens to the population, like kids birthed have like special abilities, and it's past like sexually transmitted disease almost. It's like how like you get like you end up having a kid with it. Interesting storyline, decent book. But I've read better books by him, and only because I only knew him as a horror author before this, it was weird to read something not horror from him. My do not recommend is The Book Club Murders, which, unlike the books that Brendan had mentioned that he liked the cozy mystery on, this one obviously was trying to be the Thursday Murder Club, and it was failing at every moment.
Moment.
And to the point, at like page 250, one of them goes, "Oh, we're like the Thursday Murder Club." I was like, "No, absolutely not." I'm like, "You're copying them and doing a very, very bad job at it, and you should not have compared yourself to it." Fail. And I think there's like 3 other books in the series. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to continue reading these. And sorry to the NetGalley because they gave me an ARC preview of this book, and I obviously don't have a good review for it. Anyways, should we move on to the bullshit segment of the podcast?
Yeah.
So thank you, Katie, for this week's topic. As it relates to the book, we're going to talk about road trips since we saw Winona and Lucille go on a epic-ish road trip. We'll start with Sarah. Do you have a favorite road trip memory?
I don't necessarily have a favorite particular memory. We drive a lot on our vacations, like a lot. And when my husband and I were in college, we took a lot of very long road trips. So to me, like right away, it pops in my head driving forever, but listening to good music, a good podcast, and it's the magic of like starting to get close to your destination or the cool like pit stop where you start to see like the Grand Tetons coming into view or Badlands coming into view, something like that to me is just something I'll live with forever is like once you're getting up to the destination. I also just the memory of playing car games, like when you were a kid, like me and my sister would do like the state game for the license plates or I Spy. And Craig and I do that quite often, where we do the license plate game or the country license plates and stuff like that. So not necessarily a specific memory, but those type of little gems, which I've said gems a lot.
Gems. Katie, any gems?
Yeah. So again, like Sarah, we've always been drivers of places, but I have family in New Orleans. So when I was a kid, we would go to New Orleans a lot. My mom would take us. And one time my dad had this Toyota pickup truck, like a little Toyota, and he put a camper on the back, and my brother and I, like a camper top, and my brother and I rode all the way from Knoxville to New Orleans in the back of this Toyota. This was the 90s. That was acceptable.
Yep.
With like a blow up air mattress. And we got stopped and there was traffic because of a wreck. We got stopped in traffic and it was super hot because we were probably somewhere in like Mississippi. And my mom had to open the back hatch and let my brother and I crawl out of the back of the truck. And I think just imagine what all of the people were thinking when two little kids crawled out of the back of the truck. I think I think that was probably my favorite road trip memory because it's just hilarious.
Brendan?
I would say my favorite memory, and I guess I feel really bad because I was not equating the vacations I went on with my parents as road trips. I was kind of in my head based on, I think, this book was thinking it was like a friend thing. So I don't want to discount all the vacations I took with my parents where we drove, we went all over the place as well. But the story and you kind of helped me remember this one, Mike, was for high school graduation, my friend group, we had this trip to Canada. We went to Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal. So we went all over that portion of Canada, and I was the driver the whole way in the car. So what was kind of lame and silly, especially thinking back, but at the time had us in absolute panic, was when we got to the border. We went through everything, and they had, they looked at through our car, and it was like, okay, go ahead. And literally, as we were kind of getting back and starting to drive away, and a bit more context about my father, because I was driving his car at the time. His job when I was in high school, he worked for a beer distributor. So we'll explain a little bit more. And I can't remember who, but someone went to get whatever they had by the seat, and all these beer bottles just started rolling from under the seat. And I say lame because, especially if I could go back and be like, you idiots, we were so panicked. We literally pulled over and started throwing them into a garbage pail, which I'm sure there was some border agent like wondering what the hell was happening. But we were like, oh my God, they're going to kick us out. We were so panicked. And, normal people would have said, just shut up, drive away. They've already checked your car and you're 17 and 18, you have some free beer. But we didn't. We were like tossing it out. Like it was ridiculous, but really kind of funny to think back on because we were just we were kind of in the goody two shoes camp, but still entertaining. But it was fun. It was like a 14-hour drive to Toronto too. So it was definitely a long trek, but enjoyable. At that age, I don't know if I'd want to drive 14 hours now.
I don't know if I've had a lot of road trip experience. I don't have like a lot of memories of it, but I do have a story told about a road trip that I do love where I don't know where we were coming from. We were driving home and my brother really wanted McDonald's and my parents were like, no. And so my brother whispered in my ear, I think we're going to McDonald's. And so I think it was for about 2 hours in the backseat. I just kept going, Donald's, 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 to the point where we definitely got McDonald's because my parents had to shut us up.
Nice. I love that John knew how to brainwash things.
My love of McDonald's.
That's such a you story. I love it.
Katie, longest road trip you've been on and the longest you've driven.
So the longest road trip I've been on is just from Knoxville to Dallas. So when I lived in Dallas and I was still married for that first year I lived there, for whatever reason, my husband wanted to drive every time. Oh, wait, no, wait, I forgot. I remember because we had to bring our dog with us. So our dog went on these long road trips. It's about 12 to 13 hours, and my husband he was something special. And he definitely preferred East Tennessee to Texas. And we came back and forth from Tennessee to Dallas probably 8 times in the first year I lived there. So we did that like 12, 13 hour drive with our dog Penny, like 12 or 13, or no, like 8 times in 1 year. So that's my longest. Longest I've driven when I was in college. We went to spring break. We went to the Bahamas. It was even my freshman year. We went to Freeport. Do not ever recommend going to Freeport. That is like just a trash island. We didn't drive to Freeport, clearly, but we drove from Chattanooga to Fort Lauderdale, and there were 12 of us, and we took 3 cars. And for some reason, I was one of the car people, and I was the only person out of 12 people that could drive a straight shift, and my car was a straight shift. So I had to drive the whole way, which it was like, I think 10 or 11 hours. But quick funny story on the way home, because of all of the partying, I was like, I need someone to help me drive. My friend Carrie Ann was like, well, I drove a stick one time in the field behind my house. And I was like, well, that's good enough. Once you get on the interstate, you'll be fine. But we didn't realize we hadn't made it through all the toll booths yet. And we got to a toll booth and we paid them. And then she had to try to start going again. And she peeled a wheel for like 30 straight seconds in the toll booth person's face before she finally got going. And it is one of the most hilarious stories. And it could have been one of my favorite road trip memories, but I saved it for this since I was going to talk about it anyway. But it was awesome. I still laugh at that story.
Brendan?
And I clearly mixed up my notes because I overshared on the last question, but my longest was Toronto, and I drove the entire time, so it was like 13, 14 hours with stops.
Sarah, I didn't ask you yet, right?
Correct. Our longest road trip was Connecticut to California. And yep. And we did obviously stop along the way. So it was Connecticut to California. We stopped in the Grand Tetons and Yellowstone, and our final destination was Yosemite. But at some point it rained a lot. So then we ended up deciding to drive out to the Pacific coast and stick our feet in the water. So it was pretty much coast to coast, which was really awesome. Those are the type of trips that we did in college, and we now no longer do because we're old and we can't be in the car that long. I think when we drove home, like, it was kind of a straight shot. I think we slept like in like 2 or 3 places, like coming back home, which is just crazy to think about. And the longest I've ever driven, I don't drive. If I could go back and never have to drive anywhere, I mean, I do drive, but I would probably say the longest I've driven is like, I don't know, to Massachusetts. I don't drive far. Someone else drives me.
I don't love long car rides, so I think the longest road trip I've been on was when we went up to Bar Harbor for a rock lobster.
Yep.
And that was like 6.5 hours, I
You
think.
said that wrong.
Bahaba.
Rock lobster.
Lobster.
I drove part of that, but not the whole thing.
Yeah, and you had to drive that van.
Yeah, 15-passenger van.
I did also think about our road trip to Jersey. I had the spoiler on his car.
2 things. One, nope, that was Philly.
I thought it was Jersey.
Which was my next story.
Right.
The longest I've driven was when you and I went to that beer fest in Philly, and that car with the giant spoiler that looked like it's going to fall apart any second with the sticker on it that said, "Your wife likes this." And we're like, no, she doesn't.
Were we in Jersey when we saw that, though?
Yes, we were in Jersey when we saw the car.
Okay. This also proves that I don't drive anywhere because Mike drove me there.
How far is Philly? Like, longest drive. How far is it?
It's probably like 3.5. Oh, maybe it's 4 hours.
I was going to say 4 or 5. It was long-ish for a beer fest.
Yeah. Brendan, best roadside attraction.
So I had to double check that this was a legit thing. I know I've seen it in movies, and I think I've read it in a book once, but I think I haven't seen it in person, but I actually do think it'd be kind of cool to see the neon graveyard in Vegas. It probably is not nearly as cool as what I've seen in like random pictures or in like a movie, but I think that would be kind of a cool roadside attraction.
Katie?
So I did have to use some assistance from ChatGPT on this one, and I am really glad I did because I learned of this thing called the Enchanted Highway. It's like a 32-mile scenic route in North Dakota, and there are just scrap metal sculptures along the entire 32 miles. And I was like, well, that sounds right up my alley. I think in my next life, I am going to be a scrap metal sculptor. I've never done it, but it just looks really cool. But if you ever come to Knoxville, well, you can't anymore. But if you had come to Knoxville, you could have come to the most embarrassing roadside attraction we have, which was a huge Trump superstore that I have to pass every single day when I go to work. And we just heard last week that it is closing finally. But what makes
Yay.
it so,
Oh,
what makes it so funny was before it was a Trump superstore, it was a sex toy store. And I was like, absolutely. This is the progression of this place's life. But anyway.
Sarah?
So mine actually goes along with the North Dakota thing that Katie just said. It's not the best roadside. I mean, it's cool, but I decided to go with the most recent cool roadside attraction I've gone to, and it's an artist. His name is Noah Purifoy. I might be saying it wrong, but it's Purifoy. Sorry, I can't even spell. He has an outdoor desert art museum in Joshua Tree. And so he's this adorable old man. I mean, he was once young, but he basically moved out into the desert and decided he wanted to continue doing this art. He used to be a set designer and all these other things. And he's like, nope, I just want to take scraps of garbage and make amazing sculptures. And so you can just drive up through like this random neighborhood and come across these like acres of his sculptures. And you just pay via Venmo. And it was so cool. We went to it this past, I guess we went earlier this year. Very cool. Highly recommended. So that's what I'm going with.
I just went
awesome.
with the biggest ball of twine.
Oh, Mike, I almost said that because they reference that in one of my favorite movies, which is like Vacation, like just the vacation where
Yeah.
The
they go
original.
to Marty Moose. Oh my God,
Wally World.
Wally World.
Wally World. Yeah, the biggest ball of twine. Great pick.
Thank you.
I actually think it was Vegas Vacation where I first saw the neon graveyard
Yeah, I think you might. Yeah.
Vegas. Oh,
I mean,
Definitely.
low key, that's one of the best vacation movies. I love Vegas Vacation.
It is a good movie. We'll combine this one. We'll go to Brendan first. Best road trip snacks and worst thing to eat in the car on a road trip.
I mean, my best road snack will always and forever be McDonald's fries. And worse, I'm going to go with tuna fish sandwich.
Katie?
So best road trip snacks, Slim Jims. I don't know why. Combos. I never eat combos unless I'm on a road trip, and
I
then
love
boiled peanuts, and then boiled peanuts, of course. Well, maybe not for y'all, but in the South, boiled peanuts are a big deal. And then worst thing to eat in a car, I said crunchy tacos and anything with raw onions or fried chicken.
Sarah.
So I wrote down Chex Mix, and especially because I don't like the pretzels in Chex Mix, but Craig loves them, so it works out well. Or Target's Peanut Butter Monster Trail Mix. Very specific, but very delicious. And then worst thing to eat on a road trip is Taco Bell. And I also asked Craig what he would say is the worst thing. He looked at me, laughed, and said Taco Bell.
Yeah, my
Hater.
crunchy tacos are definitely Taco Bell tacos. So that's
Taco Bell may have been banned from road trips for us many, many years ago.
I said for snacks, Twizzlers, beef jerky, or McDonald's fries. So, Brendan, you're onto something there. Katie, I am going to add combos to the list because I fucking love combos.
awesome.
Does anyone remember the 5-layer dip combos?
Yes. They were in a green can, right?
No.
Those were so I don't know if they still exist, but they were always the best.
Mm-hmm.
See, for me, there was a point in time where combos had a cheeseburger combo, and no joke, it tasted exactly like a McDonald's cheeseburger. Like, I don't know how they did it, but it was perfect.
We don't get any of that good shit down here. I'm really jealous. 5-layered dip combos. I'm going to Amazon right now.
I don't know if that was the official.
Katie's like, I'm stuck with pizza.
Yeah,
I mean, those were good too.
Basically.
I mean, they're all good.
they were.
Yeah. Worst thing, already mentioned, tuna fish sandwich for the smell. I did have Taco Bell for the poop and fart issues.
hmm
And then a sloppy Joe because it'd be so sloppy all over the car.
That would be, you couldn't eat a
Oh, yeah.
sloppy car.
Worst thing to encounter on a road trip: a hitchhiker, a tarantula, a rattlesnake, or an alligator. Sarah.
Scorpion.
All right, fifth option, scorpions it is.
And then I said hitchhiker if he's a creepy one.
Katie.
So I said outdoor gas station bathroom because I didn't read the whole question, but I guess rattlesnake.
B.
I mean, none are ideal of these options. I'm gonna go with. Oh God, I feel like you can avoid a tarantula. An alligator should be big enough to kind of stay away from. I feel like I've seen like the rattlesnakes where they jump and like I feel like you can't run fast enough. So that I'm picking that because I feel like I have the least amount of ability to hide from it.
So I think my answer will be no shock, but I have additional explanation for it. Obviously, I'm going to say tarantula. However, I say this because if you stop the car at some point, what if one crawls into the car? It's the easiest one to get inside the car.
So is a scorpion.
Well, that wasn't one of the original options. Of the 4 original options, the tarantula would be the most likely to somehow end up in your car. And my dad,
The rattlesnake could too.
my dad once told me a terrifying story when he was driving across the country when he got back from Vietnam. He was in, I think, Oklahoma during tarantula mating season, and they jumped through the window into the car.
Gross.
I would die.
But tarantulas aren't poisonous, are they?
No.
But they can bite you.
They can bite you, but they're not a rattlesnake. They won't like kill you.
But
Oh, bite you with their little baby teeth and their furry little paws?
They're
My.
very cute.
no.
Okay, that's fine. It's fine.
Would you rather take a road trip through the desert, the woods, or the mountains? Brendan.
This question gave me such anxiety.
You don't want to do any?
Well, no, but I'm gonna say mountains because desert, if I get stuck without AC, everyone dies. Woods, bugs. Mountains felt like it was the least awful option, and maybe there's some nice mountain wineries around. I don't know.
Katie.
I struggled with this one too because all of the above, but I guess honestly, I would say the woods because while I love the mountains and the mountains are usually covered with trees, depending on which mountains you're in, I I might get a little car sick. So I said woods because it's very similar. I just love trees and foliage and nature, and I've done a lot of road trips through our mountains here. So I guess that's why I said woods. I'll shut up. Sorry, I'm running long.
Sarah.
I said yes.
You have to choose one.
Mountains because I like everything Katie said, but also there's a potential for waterfalls and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Not go chasing those.
I like to go chasing the waterfalls.
I had said woods only because, like Brendan said, like if the car broke down in the desert, you wouldn't have AC. I thought the woods would be like, if you broke down, you'd probably be the closest to like a body of water of some sort. Like if you like were out of like provisions, that you'd have like at least a water source nearby.
I love that you guys went all survival skills where I'm like, oh, this is where I want to go on vacation.
Shows how much we road trip.
But honestly, you're gonna die of dysentery if you drink that water from that water source. So
Unless you have a
Is it
Smurf
more
straw
or
in
less
your
dangerous?
car.
Is it more or less dangerous than the current state of our lettuce?
More dangerous.
I don't know.
Less dangerous than a tarantula.
Yeah.
No, more dangerous
Yeah.
than a tarantula. Sorry, continue.
Are you stopping at the sketchy motel if it's late, or are you continuing on hoping for something better, Katie?
Yeah, I mean, I'll sleep anywhere. It's fine. I'll be fine. I'll stop if I need to.
Brendan?
Moving on.
Sarah?
Keep driving.
I said keep driving as well, only because I've watched a lot of scary movies, and a lot of them involve creepy side of the road motels.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're on a road trip, you're probably in some like crazy backwoods town that like the only thing they have is a sketchy motel for miles. Yeah. No, thank you.
Wait, am I alone?
You were alone in this one.
I changed my answer.
I was gonna say,
Sorry.
if you were alone going into a sketchy motel, definitely don't go into the sketchy.
I don't even like to go into the grocery store alone, to be honest. So I'm not going into a sketchy motel alone. But if I was like with Marshall, I wouldn't worry about it.
I was gonna say, if there was 2 or 3 sketchy motels in a row and I was with Craig, we would go into it because we have stayed in a sketchy motel many a times. But if we can drive a little further and get something less sketchy, it's worth a try.
And that just made me think of when I was taking Katie to Casadoro, and I was like, and there's a sketchy motel, and there's a sketchy motel, and there's a sketchy motel.
They didn't really look that bad. I'm not staying in one of those
No.
alone.
I would stay in any of those ones on the turnpike if I
Yeah,
had.
I could see that. I could see that.
But yeah, for an hour.
Yep. Yep.
Is that the only way they rent those rooms is by the hour?
I'm probably
pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure it's probably an option, and probably the most utilized option. For the sake of time, we're going to move on to the favorite section of the podcast, which is the rapid response. And I did prepare this week, so you're welcome.
Yay.
We are going to make Brendan go first.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's like, boo. Ready?
I'm waiting.
An actor that makes you immediately not want to watch a movie.
Tom Cruise.
The best movie theater candy.
Sour Patch Kids.
Chicken parm or chicken piccata?
Oh, fuck you. Oh,
Rapid.
God. There's no rapid on this. Is this at
Rapid.
Tina or is this anywhere?
Just choose one.
Piccata.
Someone new concert-wise that you'd want to see right now.
Ew.
Like someone you've never seen.
Oh, jeez.
So rapid.
That person. Dua Lipa.
What's better, a hoodie or sweatpants?
Sweatpants, because you could pull them up if you get too hot.
And least favorite holiday?
Oh, Halloween.
Sarah.
Okay.
An actor that makes you want to immediately stop watching a movie.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Best movie theater candy.
Sour Patch Kids.
Chicken parm or chicken piccata?
Chicken parm.
Someone new for you want to see in concert.
Is it new I've never seen?
New you've never seen.
Beyonce.
What's better, a hoodie or sweatpants?
Sweatpants.
Least favorite holiday.
I can't think of holidays. We'll go with...
Jesus Christ.
I can't think of holidays. Halloween, I guess. I don't know.
Sorry.
No, I couldn't think of another holiday. What other holidays are there?
Easter,
there's
Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving,
St.
Valentine's
Day,
Day.
Valentine's Day.
I guess Valentine's Day. Valentine's
Memorial
Day. Changing
Day.
my answer.
Katie, you're better prepared for this.
I hope so.
An actor that makes you want to immediately stop watching a movie.
Obviously, Tom Cruise.
Best movie theater candy.
Peanut M&M's.
Chicken parm or chicken piccata.
Chicken parm.
Someone you've never seen in concert before but you want to.
George Ezra.
Ooh, good one.
What's better, a hoodie or sweatpants?
Sweatpants.
In your least favorite holiday.
Valentine's Day.
All right.
How about
What's
you,
your
Mike?
least favorite
After stop watching.
Oh, man.
Rapid.
Want to stop watching?
Rapid.
It's rapid, Mike. It's rapid.
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 Tom Cruise. Bunch of Crunch. Chicken parm.
Gotta.
Huh?
Concert.
I was asking what you were saying. Zach Bryan,
Hoodie, sweatpants.
hoodie.
Least favorite holiday.
I'm sorry, Valentine's Day.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get in trouble for that.
But it's not the best.
But I've never liked Valentine's Day, so it's not a Brendan thing. It's just a general.
Well, because every day with Brendan is Valentine's Day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why do I need one day to celebrate it?
It's better than the none you'll have next week.
Uh-oh. So I know we're short on time, but I have to ask, you said Zach Bryan, is he a country artist?
He's country leaning.
That's a good one. Well, obviously we've tried to get tickets, so.
Noah Khan would also be up there.
Yes, again, also tried to get tickets.
And Lady Gaga.
Okay.
Well, on that note, I'd
Okay.
like to thank all of our